Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Georgie, and I'm your friendly neighborhood anime and manga fan. I love all things anime and all things manga, and I'm here today to talk about Chainsaw Man chapter 122. So, what did I think about this week's chapter? I personally love this chapter, and I would go as far as to say that this chapter is single-handedly one of the most important chapters of the entire series, because it laid down the foundation and the groundwork of everything that's going to come in the future. We get to know what pretty much what it looks like the end goal is of the series, as well as the big bad, or we get an idea of who might be the big bad at the end of part 2. Now, before we get into this week's chapter, I just wanted to give you guys a quick reminder to make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you guys can be up to date with all Chainsaw Man anime and manga content in the near future. I would really appreciate if you guys could subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. So if you guys could subscribe to my YouTube channel, I would really appreciate it. But with that being said, let's get into this week's chapter. So the chapter picks up pretty much with the Famine Devil, Fami, and from what it looks like, it's that Yoshida and Famine, you know, they go on this little, like, I wouldn't say date, but they're pretty much just, you know, in this coffee shop kind of thing, and it seems that Yoshida wants to get some information from Fami, and, you know, it's a little cute moment between Fami and Yoshida, where Yoshida's like, hey, you know, I told you I was gonna take you out, but, like, you know, you're putting a real damage to my wallet, and, you know, I appreciate that, because, like, yeah, this girl came in, got 5 of each of the menu. Come on, bro. Yoshida balling, but he ain't that balling, you know. But continuing, we see that Yoshida's you know, trying to get some information from Fami, and Fami's like, I know you know, why did you go to all the trouble to get me here? And, you know, Yoshida's like, listen, I know you're the Famine Devil. That's pretty, you know, obvious for me. So then pretty much Yoshida lays it down and just tells Famine, like, hey, do you happen to know anything that's going down about this particular prophecy? Have you ever heard of Nostradamus? Like, and then Yoshida explains that it's this prophecy of, like, the end of days. Pretty much it's like the Armageddon apocalypse kind of thing, and it's been really popular with the media, and it's prophesied that in the 7th month of 1999 the world will be destroyed, or it'll be a big massacre, catastrophe, whatever you want to call it, but something's going to go down in the 7th month of 1999. And the reason Yoshida is so, you know, curious about this, and he wants to find out the truth, is because you find out that the Public Safety Committee, they've been, you know, they got 30 people that were, you know, like, life prison sentences, whatever, and they were all given, like, they were being experimented upon by making deals with the Future Devil and asking pretty much like, hey, when will I die? And if they comply, that would be released or whatever. And what we find out is that, you know, 23 out of the 30, they all said that, yeah, they're all gonna die in July of 1999. That's like, but that's very coincidental. Like, it's a big coincidence that would happen. And what we see is that Yoshida's like, you see, so 23 out of the 7, it's pretty obvious that something's fishy. You know, I just want to see if you know anything about it. And Famine is like, the other 7, they actually are gonna die this week, aren't they? And then Yoshida's like, smiling, because he knows that she knows something. And but she goes on to elaborate. She goes, as a matter of fact, the 7 people, they're gonna die this week, and 47 seconds ago a devil appeared in some complex apartments, and he's gonna be the first of the wave that's gonna, you know, be the catastrophe that's bound to happen. It's gonna be the first of the many catastrophes that are about to happen, or something along those lines. And what we see is that, cutting from that, we see that, you know, we see some random like people just talking, and it's like this guy and his girlfriend, and they're just like, he's like, yeah, I got a promotion, it's sweet. And then the girlfriend's like, yeah, that means you're gonna get more money, right? And then he's like, yeah, maybe, but it also means that I might get more, you know, I gotta work more now, but hey, I can buy a car. And she's like, no way. Then the girlfriend just keeps saying, like, no, it's a terrible idea. And then the boyfriend's like, yeah, you're right, because, you know, the insurance is gonna, like, you know, really take a toll on me, like, and all this other stuff. But then out of nowhere, he just goes like, you know what, why don't we just, like, die? And then the girlfriend's like, yeah, I'm down, like, and you're just like, what? And what we see is they literally, you know, they get up, and then they start getting out of their, you know, they open their window, and they look, and then they just, you know, they fall from the sky, and, you know, they hit the floor. And not just them, but then you also cut to like that entire apartment complex just falling down, and they're all, you know, like committing suicide, in other words. And you see Asa looking at all of this happening, and that's pretty much where we left off last chapter. We saw that Asa was staring down, like, you know, at this building with all these people staring at her. So, I have a theory regarding why pretty much Asa in the last chapter, she was so depressed, and, you know, she even said at one point, like, I'll be better off dead, and, you know, why don't I just die? And then you go to these people that they were just out of nowhere like, hey, why don't we just like kill ourselves? And I'm assuming that it has to do something with the devil that's attacking there. And my assumption is that it's either going to be the death devil or something like a depression devil or something along those lines, like the suicide devil. Because obviously now it's, for me, I thought Asa was really in a dark state of mind, and she was, but to the point where she was like, you know what, like, maybe I'm better off dead and all that. Like, now we can start, you know, like lining up the dots and seeing like, yeah, this might have been the reason why she was feeling, it maybe amplified her feelings, but to another level. Maybe she was, you know, feeling like that, but she wasn't to that extent. At least that's how I see it. But continuing with that, we see that pretty much, you know, Yoru is in full control, and she's like, okay, like something's about to go down. Like, and then she pulls out the ruler and she makes it a weapon, and it's cool. It's like a big, like, a ruler sword kind of thing. And you see all these like corpses of the people that fell down kind of like merging into one entity. And what we see is that, you know, this entity starts like becoming like more and more, they all kind of fuse together to make this thing. And Yoru, she starts freaking out, like, and we don't see that often. Yoru is always about like, yeah, let's fight, or let's like, you never see Yoru really be a coward. So seeing Yoru, she's like, I misjudged the situation, like, this is way out of my league, like, and like, I stand no chance of winning. Like, you're like, whoa, this is the same Yoru that's always, you know, like battle thirsty, and she always wants to like prove herself. Like if Yoru, the war devil, is shook, this means that it's a bigger entity or a bigger threat than her, obviously, at her current condition. Because to me, nothing like that isn't special is gonna, you know, make Yoru feel that way. Only something that's extremely powerful. And what we see is that once again, Yoru says like, I stand no chance, I gotta get out of here. And you see, you know, Yoru starts, she runs away like a coward. And what we see is a silhouette of this monster looking thing, and it's like a naked kind of like humanoid thing. Like, it's weird to describe. It's just like a monster kind of thing. And I wonder if I had to guess, this is because Fami did say it was one of the primordial fears that was going to start all this destruction. And I'm wondering if that primordial fear either is the death devil, and we get all finally the 4 horsemen, or something along the lines like the depression devil or something like that. Because if something like this made Yoru get scared, and Famine is even complimenting like, yeah, this devil is like, it's a devil, a very nasty devil. And along that, we also saw Nayuta in the last chapter also say, I smell a nasty devil, a devil that this is the nastiest devil I ever smelled. So if I had to guess, this would have to do with the death devil's doing, because once again, all these powerful entities, like the 3 of the 4 horsewomen, they're all scared of this thing. And if I had to guess, it's probably because Death is the eldest sibling of the bunch, because, you know, what do people fear the most? Death, for the most part. So it would make sense that the first fear would be death. So I'm very excited to see what the story, you know, what happens after this, because there's a lot of revelations, like the whole apocalypse. Like right now we have a confirmation of what's going to happen, like what's the through line and the main objective of the story, which it seems like it's to prevent the apocalypse, the Armageddon of the world. Also, this week's chapter also clarified that Yoshida, I thought he was looking sus, but it's more like, I don't think he's completely evil. I think he's actually doing it to help humanity, but I think he knows too much. I think he knows way too much than he's leading to. So I would say that, to me, Yoshida, I don't think he's fully evil per se, but I still find him a little suspicious, but not as much as last week. Because last week, I thought that he was 100% an accomplice with Fami, but this chapter solidified that no, this is their first, like, you know, meetups or so. So I just think that Yoshida knows more than he's leaning to. But with that being said, I think this chapter did an amazing job at setting up the future of the series, as well as, you know, it got me super hyped, because now I'm looking forward to the story and being like, oh my god, like, this is the end of the world is upon us. Like, how are Yoru, Asa, and Denji gonna stop this? Like, this is something that's shaking even people, like one of the horsewomen, like multiple of them, all three actually have been, you know, on the edge about this particular thread. And I'm assuming that this is going to be the big bad of the story. So, and if I had to guess, it's going to be the Death Devil, because what is once again the most, you know, fear, the one thing that brings us humans the most fear, I would say, is death. But with that being said, what did you guys think about this week's chapter? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys love it? Did you guys thought it was all right? Whatever you guys thought, let me know in the comment section down below. Also, thank you so much for sticking all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Chainsaw Man anime and manga content in the near future. But yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.